The story begins in the quiet, sleepy, and rather boring little town of B. It is such an uneventful place that usually only a few chickens and muddy roads are to be seen. However, one day everything changes when a cavalry regiment is stationed in the town. Suddenly, the town comes alive. The streets fill with soldiers in uniforms, wearing moustaches and clinking their sabers as they walk. Balls, dinners, and card games become the town's new routine. One of the most enthusiastic participants in this lively atmosphere is Pythagoras Chertokutsky, who lives on an estate near the town. Chertokutsky is a landowner and former cavalry officer who had to resign due to a certain incident. Having married a wealthy woman, he has acquired a fortune. He is a man who loves ostentation, follows fashion, delights in socializing with the nobility, is slightly arrogant, yet essentially empty inside. He misses no opportunity to mingle with the officers of the regiment. One day, the general invites his officers and the town's notables to a dinner. Chertokutsky is there as well. The dinner is merry. Wines and punches flow like water. Under the influence of alcohol, tongues loosen. Chertokutsky begins to praise a Viennese carriage he owns, claiming it is incredibly light and comfortable. He praises it so much that he gets carried away. The general and the officers become curious about this magnificent vehicle. Enchanted by this interest, Chertokutsky makes a grave error and invites the general to his home for lunch the next day. "Please come, Your Excellency. We shall dine, and you can examine this masterpiece up close." The general accepts the invitation. Chertokutsky should have returned home immediately after dinner to start preparations, but instead he stays with the officers that night to continue playing whist. He drinks more and more, and the conversation drags on endlessly. When he finally returns home, it is 4 a.m, and he is blind drunk. He barely mumbles to his wife, "Guests tomorrow." But his words are unintelligible. He collapses into bed and passes out before giving a single order to the servants. The next day, the sun rises high and noon arrives. The household is in deep silence, waiting for their master to wake. There is no food preparation, no flurry of activity. Just then, carriages containing the general and his officers enter the courtyard. His wife runs into the bedroom in terror, shaking Chertokutsky awake. "Get up! Your guests have arrived!" Chertokutsky leaps from bed, hungover, his head throbbing, wearing only his nightshirt. When he realizes the situation, his face turns white. No food, no preparations, and he looks a wreck. He is disgraced. In a panic, he shouts to his wife, "Say I am not home! Say I left early in the morning!" and dashes out of the room. He looks for a place to hide. First, he runs to the stable, but it doesn't seem safe. Then, the perfect place comes to mind. The carriage house. He dives in. In the corner stands the Viennese carriage, the very cause of yesterday's praise. In desperation and panic, Chertokutsky climbs into the carriage, curls up on the seat, pulls the leather apron completely over himself, and hides. He waits there, barely breathing. Meanwhile, the general and the officers are greeted at the door. When the servants say, "The master is not home," the general is surprised and offended. "He invited us to dinner. What is this strangeness?" he asks. Just as he is about to leave, a thought occurs to him. "Since we came all this way, let us at least take a look at this famous carriage." The general and officers walk to the garage. The general walks around the carriage, looks at the wheels, and is unimpressed. "It is quite ordinary," he remarks. Then, to inspect the interior upholstery, he reaches out and abruptly lifts the leather apron covering the carriage. And there, he makes eye contact with his host, Chertokutsky, who is curled up in his nightshirt, trembling. Time freezes. The general, in astonishment, says only one sentence. "Ah, so here you are." Then, saying nothing else, showing neither anger nor mockery, he covers the carriage again, shuts the door, and walks away with his officers. Chertokutsky is left alone with his shame inside that magnificent carriage, the symbol of his own vanity.